Is it true? A few months ago I was at the till in a pound shop holding a basket with 8 bottles of Sulphura, a sweet-smelling disinfectant, expecting it to cost £4 as you got 2 for £1. So you can imagine my surprise when the cashier said to me, "That will be £8. I said, "I thought it was 2 for £1. She said, "No, they're £1 each." I replied, "Is it true?" Now by this stage a queue was beginning to form at the till, and to make matters worse, I could hear people behind me discussing the price, some agreeing with me and some disagreeing with me. With that, the manager came over and said, "There are no specials on Sulphura. There never have been. We'd be selling them at a loss if we give you 2 for £1. They're £1 each." The voice of authority had spoken. Mortified, I left the shop. But there was still a part of me that was convinced that I was right. So I couldn't wait until I got home to ask the carer, who normally bought the Sulphura, did she ever get 2 for £1? And her answer to me was a resounding no. What troubled me on reflection wasn't only that I was wrong, but how my pride had convinced me I was still right when I was clearly wrong. I had confused my opinion with the truth. In fact, my opinion had held truth a prisoner. Am I the only one that does that? Let's go back to the cash register and imagine what if. What if I managed to convince the queue, the cashier, and even the manager I was right? What if I succeeded in buying the Sulphura 2 for £1? Would the truth have changed, or would I simply change things to suit myself? We are familiar with people's opinions through statistics, referendums, democratic votes. But just because a majority hold an opinion doesn't make it true. It may be popular, but is it true? Is truth arrived at through a show of hands? We're so used to democracy that it is unsettling to think that there is something greater than what the majority decide. The truth does not need a democratic leader to justify it. It needs a king to proclaim it with authority. Jesus says, "I am that king. I was born for this. I give witness to the truth." But hold it a minute. At the beginning of John's Gospel, we are told he came down from heaven, he was born, he came among his own, and his own received him not. From the beginning, truth is rejected. It is not easy to welcome truth, especially when it exposes my pride or when it is different to my opinion. Look what happens to Jesus. People are threatened by him when he speaks the truth. They get angry, they blame him, they go into denial. Eventually, they have to get rid of him. Pilate has no time for him. What is truth? He settles for a show of hand, popular opinion. And so he washes his hands of Jesus and sacrifices the truth. But Pilate doesn't realize he is the one who is on trial. Jesus says to Pilate, "Everyone who is of the truth hears my voice." He is offering Pilate the chance to hear his voice. And he extends the same invitation to each one of us. Am I the only one who believes that my opinion is the truth when it is not? Perhaps the starting point to hear his voice is to admit that I get it wrong. Time and time again, when I pray with the scriptures, his voice reveals to me how narrow my thinking is, how often I get it wrong. I don't know the truth. I'm always discovering more about the truth and how wrong I've been. What about you? Is your opinion king, or is his voice the king?